Eileo guys, and welcome back. In today's little video though, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 Nat3s with the highest defense in the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Also, quick shout out here to myself. If you guys haven't checked out the first video of the series where I went over the top 10 strongest Nat5s, then feel free to check that video out. It will be in an info card in this video in itself here. But starting in at number 10, we have Fire Kokumaru, who is also a defender type 2. I mean, he is pack full of defense, so that makes sense here, but he takes the 10th slot, which is a bit odd because I feel like none of the Kokumarus ever have been useful, and to see him even on this list, it just baffles me, because it's like you get him Evo 3 for the Astro Guide and you forget about him, because I mean his kit has attack down and sleep. What are you going to do with attack down and sleep? What are their percentages, because we're here anyways? 60% chance for one turn, and sleep has a 40% chance for one turn. With books, it still doesn't even go to another turn. Yeah, so he's number 10 on the list, but he deserves to be just not even on his list because he's garbage. Alright, and then coming in the 9th spot, we have Waterjack, who's also surprised, a defender type. She has Seal and also the very outdated Taunt here, and she's been out for a couple of years, but I do want to say that since she's been introduced, nothing has really happened with her, which makes sense because she's a Nat3 here, but they could always possibly update her in the future, and her defense set is, what, 2,894? I did forget to read Fire Kokumaru's, but he's in the 10th spot. He's trash. You guys aren't missing out on anything here. But it looks like with books, Still gets a slight upgrade in terms of its turn duration. So does Taunt here, which goes to 3 turns for Seal and 2 turns for Taunt. But no surprise to anyone else, she's just another Astro Guide Astromon. I mean, she's number 9 on the list for a reason. And then coming in on the 8th spot, we do have Fire Sand Rafe, also a defender type, but his defense is a little bit higher than Waterjack's, sitting at a whopping 2,935, just a little itty bitty bit higher, and he has attack down and also exposed weakness, so I would argue and say that you could technically use him if you wanted to kind of run him in Wood Titans. Am I recommending that? Absolutely not. But does he have some type of usage versus the 9th and 10th place Astromon? But that's all I'm going to say though, because you're not going to get too much usage out of him, because obviously Water Sand Rafe is more superior here, but we're talking about the highest Nat3s with defense, not Water Sand Rafe. And then coming in hot over here in the 7th spot, we do have Dark Mushy. So this is the first Darkmon on the list here, and we're only, you know, a couple of Astromon in already, and that's just wild and wacky because his defense is sitting at a whopping 2,962. So once again, roughly a little bit less than 30 more defense than Fire Sand Rafe, but at least as we're going up this list, they seem to have a little bit more usage, even though Mushy is a single target Astromon. Depending on where you use him at, he could be potentially useful unless you want to play with him manually, because at least with resistance down being his 3-star skill, you don't have to worry about SP charging up for him to waste it to get his, you know, his higher than normal modifier for his single target sap, which I do believe his sap is quite decent here. Let me see. 2 times sap, yeah, 80% chance, and when it's fully booked up, it goes up to 90% for 2 turns, so it's not bad. It's just not super practical, but you know, if you're rocking a Dark Mushy for whatever reason, feel free to leave that in the comments below. And then coming in on number 6 of this list is another Astromon that literally no one on Discord, on YouTube, on Google, on freaking Yahoo Messenger, MSN Messenger, MySpace, Twitter ever talks about. Wood Misha. Wood Misha, we have it right here, you guys, coming in at a whopping 2,969. He said 69 defense. Wow. I know that Dark Misha exists, I know that Light Misha exists, but no one ever talks about Wood Misha, and it's for good reason here, because Wood Misha is rocking a very anemic and outdated Taunt, and also blind with an 80% chance for 2 turns. What are you going to do with Taunt and Blind? What can't you do? I mean, come on, you guys. What can't you do with Taunt and Blind? This freaking Astromon deserves to be top tier. Make Wood Misha great again. Alright, and then coming in hot at the number 5 spot, we do have the Water Ginger Cookie, which, if you're new to the game, Ginger Cookie came out roughly 6 months ago during the Christmas time event, so if you're staying tuned with the videos, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out when Ginger Cookie makes a return. And spoiler alert, not this Ginger Cookie, but the other ones are quite useful. So if you want to pick them up once they come around again, you know, just go ahead and do it. But anyways, Water Ginger Cookies coming in with 2,983 defense. So once again, a little slight bump up above Wood Misha, but at least Water Ginger Cookie, that sounds like a mouthful to say anyways, has double defense down here. And let's look at the rates just because we're here already. So both of the Ginger Cookies moves is defense down with a 70% chance to inflict it for 2 turns, and one is an AoE. So this is like Water Shelly, but obviously it's not Water Shelly because it's an actual cookie. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about him. I mean, if you're rocking a Ginger Cookie, I guess you could use him. But it also depends on his timing in Titans, to where even though he has the same kit as Water Shelly, even though Water Shelly has Predator, due to his animation, it can actually be a waste of time. Or due to her animation, I forgot their Ginger. It's a cookie, man. It's just a cookie. And then for the number 4th spot here, we do have Water Ramu, which interestingly enough, I want to say the set distribution in between Ginger Cookie and Water Ramu isn't that different, because that was 2983. Yeah, it's the same set distribution, but for whatever reason, I had written down that Ramu was above Ginger Cookie. But in terms of usage and just the defense stat in general, it's the exact same mon. However, I'm not even going to click on the skills here, you guys, because Water Ramu is absolutely useless. Dude is rocking Taunt, and he has Thirst. He has 25k HP, which as a Nat3 isn't, you know, terrible. It's pretty much in the attacker range. But yeah, I would not see any reason to use this Astromon for anything whatsoever. And like I said before, with the Ginger Cookie, at least you could possibly, don't quote me on it, you could possibly get some usage out of it. Ramu, well, Ramu is going to go right in the trash. I know you guys just seen this Astromon, but it's different. Come on, it's the fire type. It is Fire Ginger Cookie coming in with 3,003 defense. Yes, we've finally broken into the 3k range with these Nat3s. Once again, Christmas exotic, so make sure you're playing around Christmas time. But yeah, 3,003 defense. This is the first one on the list, and this Astromon rocks Shield Breaker and Buff Breaker. So with the recent addition of the Dimension Defense, where we fight Big Snake Boy, aka Jormungandr on drugs, essentially one of the key mechanics, because his mechanics change every day of the week, and also on the alternative Saturdays, is the stupid shield. So having a shield breaker, like for this guy right here, has just been smiley face gaming, because breaking that shield just makes doing the wood version of Dimension Defense that much more possible. And a lot of people, because they either caught this Astromon or decided to kind of ignore him, have been scrambling to get shield breakers. Though I will say that Smart Study has been gracious enough to kind of give us a couple here and there. Like we've had a Kiki Rebirth, there's also Glenda, so there's chances to get shield breakers here. But obviously no one knew at that time that if I didn't build a freaking Fire Ginger Cookie, that I was gonna play myself. But luckily I didn't play myself. Never play yourself. But yeah, he's in the 3rd spot, and I actually think he deserves it. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in 2nd place, we have Wood Mira. The only Astromon that I couldn't get to Evo 3 during that freaking duration. Not like it matters anyways, because, I mean, we're just talking about stat distribution here. We're not talking about actual usage. But yeah, we do have Wood Mira sitting at a whopping 3,051 in terms of that defense stat. So once again, we're hitting the next step up past Fire Ginger Cookie, and he's rocking, what is that, resistance down and petrification. I understand the resistance down part, but the petrification, I've said this in prior videos before, I personally only prefer it on Persephone, Water Persephone, because her kit in general is just great. And I guess if the animation's slow enough, you could use this as a quote unquote stun. Quote unquote, gotta make sure I'm in the camera here, but it's not reliable. And unlike stun, where you can still take complete damage if a target is petrified, unless you're doing some type of big brain stall tactic, if the target is petrified and another Astromon on your team acts, well, congratulations, there goes all your damage. You played yourself. But yeah, he's in 2nd spot. I don't really have much to say about him other than that. And yeah, so if you are rocking a Wood Mira, drop it in the comments below. And to end things off here, you guys, we have actually 3 contenders for the #1 spot. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys to pick who you think deserves to be in that first place spot, because I do believe that the defense stat is the exact same. So technically speaking, they're all the same, other than just their skill kit would make them different. But yeah, we do have the water version of the Easter Bunny, which obviously came out this year as well, with the Force Exchange and also the stun, which I do believe the stun was quite decent. 80% chance for 1 turn, fully booked up, 100% chance for 1 turn, but it is an AoE and it is a Nat3, so you could use it in a Nat3 league, so quite understandable. And if I didn't mention it before, the defense stat is a whopping 3,064. So some PvP usage. Obviously, I'm not going to say this is going to be top tier or anything like that, but something that you could in theory at least play around with if you haven't already. And then following that too, we do have another water Astramon on the list. One of the mons that came back recently and deserves like a revamp, but for whatever reason, Smart Study probably forgot that this Astramon exists. But it is Water Slime Hero, coming in with the same exact defense stat of 3064, and Water Slime Hero is rocking defense down and also elemental edge. Defense down is 60% chance for 2 turns. Elemental edge is single target, which, here's the thing. This Astramon is a defender, single target, with a 2.3k attack stat. What is elemental edge going to do? I understand that it's a single target, so it gets a single target modifier, but with a 2.3k attack stat, there's nothing's going to happen. This is the big issue with all the slime heroes in general, not ranting just about this one, but this is just what makes them garbage. Like, change their moves all to AoE, or at least give them moves that fit with them. Defense down and elemental edge on a defender with that single target, obviously just a Astro Guide Astramon. Unfortunately, even though I love his design, it's just how it is. And last but not least, on the #1 slot for the Nat3s with the highest defense is going to be like Squirrus, who recently got added to the game as well. By recently, I want to say within the last year or so. But this Astramon in particular has, what is that, SP Siphon and Fearless Taunt. Okay. 20% SP Siphon, and then Fearless Taunt is an AoE for everyone. And with a 3k stat, I mean, this isn't super duper vibrant because it is a Nat3, but at least the kit kind of synergizes together, because this Astramon can not only do some crowd control, where he can kind of prevent the other party from getting their 5-star skill off, but he can also draw the attention to him and hopefully soak up some damage with that Fearless Taunt going on. And with him naturally being more bulky because of his HP stat being 2800, well, things could be quite good for him. I'm not saying he's usable outside of the Nat3 league. I'm not even saying he's usable in the Nat3 league. But from what we have on the list here, he's definitely smiley face gaming. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for you guys here in terms of the top 10 Nat3s with the highest defense in the game. Feel free once again leave in the comments below about what you guys thought about this list. I'm honestly just surprised that we didn't have more light and dark Astramon, because outside of Squirrus and Mushy, all the other mons were pretty much wood, water, and there's like a couple of the fire mons sprinkled in. But yeah, totally surprised. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you.